Welcome back. It's Your Legacy Live on Tuesday morning. Todd Jarvis, your business advisor, exit planning advisor, and legacy planning advisor. I just wanted to join today, and we're going to talk a little bit about business valuation. I've had a lot of questions recently. I've been doing a lot of acquisitions with people, helping them buy, sell businesses, and helping advise them on how to grow and exit their business with success and with intent. So I just want to talk a little bit about how do you increase the value of your business for a couple reasons, right? So a couple times businesses valuation is going to come into play when you want to sell, and also when you maybe part of your contingency plan, if you pass away, you want to make sure that your family is able to get the most out of their business and out of what you've provided for them and grown for them in this business, okay? So that they can be bought out at the greatest amount possible from the other partners and business owners. But the problem with most businesses is that they focus kind of on one thing when they look at the value of their business and trying to increase that value of business. So most people, they focus on increasing the earnings, right? The revenue of their business. They think, okay, that is going to be the major factor in determining the value of the business. And some people think, well, maybe that's the sole, right? The sole factor when determining the value of a business. But there is another factor when you are calculating the value of a business that is often used and almost always used, right? So there's strategies you can use to increase the value. Again, we kind of talked about this a second ago with increasing the earnings, right? You do something new, you offer something new, you find ways to increase the customer satisfaction or look for other ways to increase earnings. Again, these only focus on increasing earnings. We want to talk about the other influences and other strategies you can implement to increase the other kind of factor or variable in the calculation, in the equation for valuing your business. Okay, so that's what we're talking about here is the market multiple. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this so that we can get going and help you know what you need to do next to increase the value of your business. All right. Now to start off, so we're talking about valuing your business and how to increase the value of your business as part of your exit and overall business plan and contingency planning for your estate planning to make sure that your family can provide for if you're no longer there for them. Or just getting ready for retirement 10, 20 years from now, you want to be able to sell that business and maximize your earnings and price for that business. So I'm going to get boring for about 2 minutes here, so please just hold off. I'm going to talk a little bit about the math, okay? So when you calculate the earnings for your business, and when you're looking at the value of your business, what we do is we go through and we find what are the earnings of the business. So oftentimes you'll hear this referred to as the EBITDA when it comes to selling. EBITDA is a specific way for calculating the earnings of a business. Your accountant can help you with that. Your advisors can help you with that, right? Finding out what the EBITDA is. But generally, it's just a way to express and calculate the earnings, the revenue, earnings of the business. Okay, now after you know the earnings, what you're gonna do is you're gonna multiply that by an industry multiple. So there's other ways of coming to the value of your business that you might use, but believe me, this is kind of the standard, is to take your EBITDA, your earnings, and multiply it by an industry multiple to find out what the selling price and asking price for your business is. What can you demand at market, right? Okay, now to get back to this a little bit, the key here is understanding what that multiple is. Because, you can, for the most part, and you should be looking at your financial statements on a regular basis. Maybe every Monday you set aside an hour, sit down, get maybe with your bookkeeper, your accountant, or maybe just you, or maybe a key employee, and you look and review your financial statements to see where you're at, where you're going to make plans for the future. So you can see there kind of get an idea of what your revenue is and what your earnings might be. Obviously, it's not a pre-calculated specific EBITDA number, but it's a general number you can use. However, what do you multiply that number by in order to find out what the value of your business is? Now, every industry has a different multiple, okay? So, because some industries are more attractive and easier to sell than others. But also within every industry, there isn't just one multiple. At any given time, there's a range of multiples. Okay, so just an example, I didn't look these numbers up, but let's just say for illustration purposes here that you're selling a plumbing business. Okay, so you're in the trades. Maybe right now in your area, plumbing businesses are selling from of a multiple between 2 and 9. So when you go and try to sell your business, you're going to take your earnings, and depending on the things that we're going to talk about today, depending how well you've done on these other things we've talked about today, and we'll talk about in a minute, you will find out what your multiple is. So you're going to either multiply your earnings by 2% or all the way up to 9%. 9 times, sorry. 2 times or 9 times. So you're either going to double your earnings or multiply your earnings by 9 to find out what the value of your business is. So what we're going to talk about today is what can you intentionally work on within your business to increase where your business falls along that range of multiples. Because believe me, I'm sure this is simple and easy to understand. I'm sure all of you can agree that it would be better to sell your business at 9 times its earnings than 2 times its earnings, right? If you can. Some industries, you might be at 1 to 4 times multiples, but it just depends on your industry and where you're at. Again, we're just using plumbing as an example with a multiples range of 2 to 9. Okay, so now you can control where your business lands within that range of multiples by working on 4 specific, what we call intangible capitals within your business. So there's 4 specific intangible capitals we're going to talk about today. And if you intentionally increase and improve those 4 intangible capitals, you're going to be able to improve where your company lands within that range of multiples. All right. So the short of the story here, improve these 4 C's, 4 capitals, right? Intangible capitals. So the 4 C's is what we're going to call them. Improve those 4 C's within your business, and you'll make your business more attractive. And because the buyers see your business as being valued and more attractive purchase. Therefore, you can demand a higher multiple. Okay. All right. Let's kind of regroup here and talk about, what are those 4 C's? Let's back up for a second. So let's talk about this. So again, those multiples, selling a business is just like selling anything, right? You can sell it for what the market demands. In the end, what is your business worth? It's worth whatever someone's willing to buy it for, okay? And what they're willing to buy it for is usually tied to how attractive it is, according to one, industry demands and market demands at the time. Okay, so that's going to increase. It's going to increase or decrease that multiple range. You know, the more attractive a business is in the market, the more demand there is for those businesses, the higher of a multiple you're going to be able to ask for, and that's a little bit out of your control, right? But what you can control is where you fall within that market range, and these 4 C's is going to help you improve where you fall along that market range of multiples. So here's the 4 C's. They're the human capital, customer capital, structural capital, and social capital. Okay, so human, customer, structural, and social. The human capital, it's the value of the talent that you have in your company. The more talented your team, the better they'll perform, especially in a crisis situation. So all things being equal, the stronger your human capital, the more value the market is going to place on your company, because the buyer is going to be able to step in and rely on the strong team to be able to continue to keep things moving forward, to be able to expect and to expect at least the revenues that were being earned before the sale, and then be able to improve upon those, because they know they have a strong foundation within the talent pool of the company. The right people are in the right place, and they know what they're doing. Okay. Now, customer capital. This is going to be the measure of the strength of the relationships with your customers. So deep integrated, tenured relationships are going to be very valuable. If you have recurring revenue structures in place with those customers, again, increases the value. Your contractual relationships with them. All right. So you can kind of see this is all common sense if you really think about it, right? So the stronger relationship you have with your customers, the more likely they're going to come back, and the more attractive your business is going to be because you have that recurring revenue. You have those customers who keep coming back. Whether you're a service provider and you have them on a contract where they're paying you monthly on this recurring revenue process, and you're able to demand a high value and a high price for those services on a monthly basis, is because and due to your relationship with your clients, how you're serving them, how you're fulfilling them. Now, another one that's not so clear and a lot of people don't look at is diversifying their customer base. Okay, the more diversified your customer base is, the more attractive your company is going to be, because let's put it this way, right? Let's say you have one customer that accounts for 60% of your monthly revenue, and therefore your yearly revenue. That can be really great to land that big customer, right? Hey, I've got this big chunk of change coming every month. We have this revenue coming in. We've got a great relationship with this customer. Things are going good. And it really bumped up the success of your business. However, from an outside look, it's kind of risky, because if that customer goes away for whatever reason, they themselves sell, they themselves dissolve, they themselves change their trajectory, or just contract with someone else. Well, now you've lost 60% of your revenue. That's a big risk, and that can kill some companies, right? So diversifying your customer base is really important. Not only having multiple businesses, not relying on one business, but also different kinds of customers, right? So you're in different markets and you're able to diversify those markets. So all these things contribute to a strong customer capital. Structural capital is the back end infrastructure of your company. So this is your processes, your financials, your strategies, your IT, your patents or other intellectual property. Maybe you have strong trademarks that are very recognizable and they're protected. And so you've built a lot of goodwill around these. And when the customers see these marks, they're like, hey, I know these people. I know this company. I can trust them. I'm going to keep buying their goods. I know this new good that was brought out is going to be the best of the best because it's coming from this company and it has their mark on it, right? So those things are what's going to improve your structural capital. Also, the infrastructure, the processes, the systems you've built into your company to make sure that even if you lose some talent, you can replace that talent and they can kind of fit within that machine, right? You've got a machine in place that kind of that is well documented and can be relied upon, and that won't break down if something, there's a kink in the system, right? If the new talent comes in. So that makes your business more attractive because it's more, it can be replicated. It can be counted on, right? So maybe you're, like me, you're an attorney and one of your businesses, and you offer, like me, I offer estate planning, right? So maybe you have a good, well-documented system for attracting customers on the marketing side, or maybe you have a good system for after you engage clients to move them through the planning process and getting their plans in place in a very predictable and very high value way that can be replicated with each customer. Every customer is treated individually and with a personalized plan, but the business is built around a process that allows that to happen for every customer that comes in. Okay, that's structural capital. The fourth, social capital. Now this is how you move information and how that information flows within your company. So the attitudes of your management teams and employees, the environment in which they work, and the company morale. So this is represented by the rhythm and the culture of the company. Everybody talks about increasing the culture of your business, right? So that's what we're talking about here with social capital. It's not just that, and this is not just inward facing. This isn't just what the talent and what your employees feel when they come to work. It's also shown in how your company contributes to its community. Your community might be online. Is your company communicating and working with the clients and customers in their community, right? Which could be global. Or maybe you're a local chiropractor and you have a good, strong relationship with your local community, your city that you're in, and you volunteer, and everybody knows that your business and your employees are on boards and they're serving the community, and everybody really feels good when they go to your company and they go to your business and go to your practice because they're treated well, right? They feel part of the culture when they're there. All right, so that's the social capital. Now, most owners, to be honest with you, they walk into their companies each day and they manage these 4 C's. I can guarantee you they likely care about the people, which is their human capital, right? They care about their employees, they care about their customers, and they care about the customer's experience and the revenue that's associated with those customers. So that's the customer capital. Most likely, an entrepreneur, just by default, because of their nature, they're caring about these things. They want their employees to be happy. They want their employees' families to be provided for. They also probably care about that the business is running efficiently, that there's structural capital is in place, that there's processes and systems in place that make sure everything runs smoothly. And lastly, of course, they're concerned about the culture of the company within and without, how the company is perceived and how it interacts with its culture. Its culture with its community that they've built. Okay, so an entrepreneur does this unintentionally. It's just intuitive. It's a part of who they are as a business owner. It's why they got in business. It's why they're good at business. But they're not doing it in an intentional and methodical way that's framed, reviewed, measured, understood, so that they can intentionally improve in these areas. Okay. So by shifting this mindset from an unintentional mindset, from managing these 4 C's unintentionally, to a very intentional mindset, the business owners, they're able to work with their advisors and they can score these 4 C's, okay? They can understand their impact and their multiple, thus the value of their business. So when we work with a business and business owners to help them increase the value of their business for exit planning or simply to improve their business overall, so they're seeing higher earnings and a better environment, or they want to make sure that they've, in case of a contingency, if their family needs to sell the business if they pass away, that their family be as provided for as well as possible. So when we're doing this, what we do is we go in, work with the business owner to score these 4 C's. We use a common sense scoring process, okay? The scale for this common sense process is, it's a 1 to 6, okay? It's a 1 to 6 score. So we go through the different factors in each of the 4 C's, and the business owner scores it from 1, meaning it's very low, or up to 6, where it's a best in class, best in industry situation for that particular piece of the 4 C's. Okay, of one of the 4 C's. So the key to the scale is, you notice if you look at a 1 to 6 scale, there's no average. Okay, and that's important because when a business owner is going through and scoring these different pieces and different parts of their 4 C's, they're going to have to choose whether they're a 1, a 6, or maybe they're just slightly below average at a 3, or slightly above average of 4. They can't just say, oh, I'm in the middle, I'm in the middle, I'm in the middle. They're going to have to, and there's going to be an emotional thing there. That's an emotional situation, right? To be able to say, you know what, I'm a little below average, or I'm just above average. And then they know that they need to focus on that. And so we can, as we go through and score these, they can assess and determine the value of each of those 4 C's. So using human capital as an example for how you might score and value one of these capitals is, you would probably look at, so within each 4 C, there's multiple pieces. There's multiple, I don't know what you could call them, but just multiple points and categories to score, and then you kind of average them, right? So one thing you might score is for human capital is the experience and tenure of the management team, the formalized training and education programs that are used to train the team, strength and favorable benefits programs, the performance review, feedback, and coaching process, clear and concise HR policies and procedures. Are there non-compete and non-solicitation agreements for key employees? So each of those would get a score between 1 and 6. And then we could average them to see, okay, what is the overall score for the human capital within this business? So most owners have a sense for what makes strong human capital. However, by defining it like this and measuring it like this, then they can manage it and they can increase it, right? So each one of these 4Cs will have multiple value factors, and the scoring process will be repeated for each of them. Not only repeated for each 4C, but at a periodic basis, we can rescore it to see how it's improving. All right, see how our last goals after met, what impact did they have on the 4Cs or the specific intangible capital that they were targeted to improve. So with that data, you can begin to understand the value factors that impact the business value and create strategies and action plans to improve on the weaknesses that are identified. By doing this, we can make sure that the process is very intentional and methodical while building and raising the score. We're increasing the value of the business, not just by increasing the revenue of the business, not just by increasing marketing, get more people to come into the funnel, right? The flow and systems that are built in the company, but we're improving those funnels. We're improving those systems so that the customers being better taken care of, right? And it's going to be more reproducible, so it's more attractive to a buyer. Okay. So as a result of all this, we can raise the value of the business over time while increasing the overall culture and success of the business and its team. Most business owners are very intuitive when it comes to this, as we've said before, but not as intentional as they could be. By using the common scoring system, by getting in there and really digging into where are they in these different areas, they can build, and put together 90-day sprints and goals to be able to improve these in a short amount of time. Like I said, good exit planning is always good business planning. We need to start exit planning as soon as we start our business. Plan for the exit, and you will have, whether it's 30 years from now, 5 years from now, you'll have a more efficient business. You'll have a more successful business. You'll be happier in your business. Your team will be happier in your business. And you'll be able to achieve those goals and the entrepreneurial lifestyle, right, that we all look for and that attracts us to being a business owner in the first place. Hope that helped. I hope that was very informative and helpful for you to see how you can intentionally increase the value of business by not just focusing on getting the next customer, but by increasing these intangible capitals within your business. If you have any questions, feel free, comment, ask. I'll get to you whether you're watching live or you come in later. We always check back on the comments, and you can DM, reach out, but make sure to share this with anybody you think that might be, it might benefit. If you know someone who owns a business that's looking to retire in the next 10 years, this could be very helpful to them. So send it over to them, let them see it, and they can start making some good moves within their business to get ready for that retirement. So like, share, subscribe, and look forward to seeing you next time.